Constitutional law, so.
He's a good kid. Good
Ladies.
I know Paloma, what's her name?
Carolina.
Carolina, nice to meet you. As you just said, I'm a former student of Professor Sosnowski's at Aurora University. I met him for the first time in my criminal law class, and he's just such a great professor, such a great leader. And it was actually another student over at this table who kind of helped get this all started and get all the rest of the students involved. So from the start of that, we just kind of all knew that he would just make such a great candidate with his leadership skills and his, all of his experience in the field. He's going to make a great next Kane County State's Attorney.
The freedoms that we have are something that we have to continue to fight for. And Andrew is stepping up at such an important time in history, in a special time in Kane County's history, to work for the people, advocate for our children, stop the human trafficking, cut crime, and make sure that Kane County doesn't turn into the mess that Kim Fox created in Cook County. And without further ado, I want to introduce our 2024 Republican nominee for Kane County State's Attorney, Andrew Sosnowski.
We need to let freedom ring. We need freedom in this country. I mean, it's going away. It's leaving us. We need to bring it back. And I'm your Kane County State's Attorney candidate. I'm proud to stand up here before you today. I'm proud to stand here with my students from Elgin and Aurora Universities. These young people are our future. There is so much potential. Look at this guy. This Christopher right here, this young man, was the one that came up to me and said, "Professor, I think you should run for state's attorney." And the next day, yes. And so I said, "Put me on the ballot." And the next day he brought several students up, Madeline one of those as well, Brandon who's not here, and they started passing petitions around. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" They said, "You said put you on the ballot." I'm like, how crazy is this? And what happened after that? We went on the ballot. And we had like about 10 or 11 or 12 or 13 days. It was not a lot of time, folks. It was running out. And somebody looked and said, "Maybe you should be an independent candidate." And I thought to myself, yeah, maybe that is an independent candidate, kind of fits me. I am pretty independent-minded. I think all of us in here are independent-minded in many ways. Certain things we like, certain things we don't like. But what we do like is the United States of America and our freedom and our liberty. Do we not? We absolutely do. With hard work, determination, and our desire to make this country and county the best it can be. And we learned the importance of fighting for all people. I learned that. I learned under great people. We did great things. I was also Deputy General Counsel of DCFS, Protecting Children and Families. I also was the one that wrote the program for the Child Advocacy Center in Kane County, the one that actually exists today. And it's that same kind of spirit is why I'm running as your state's attorney, to bring that ingenuity to the office again, to bring that spirit. We talk about human trafficking. I see it all over the place. But what are we actually doing about it other than talking about it and identifying it? Let's do something together as a county to fight it. And we got to make those people afraid to come here. And one of the things that have been my whole life's message, it's always been to stand up for the vulnerable, for the people less fortunate. Well, my message is very simple. We need to keep the Kane County safe. We need to do this by rooting out the causes of crime, collaborate with law enforcement, real collaboration with law enforcement. I will continue to look at ways to prosecute crimes that really work. We know that as we sit in this country right now, that the prosecution has such great power, and that power can be abused. That power can be abused by taking your political enemies and making them criminals. That can't happen. This is the United States of America. It will not happen in Kane County. We're not going to use political prosecution. We represent everyone. I will be elected your next state's attorney, and I will take an oath. That oath is to the United States Constitution. The United States Constitution, which promises that we are not beholden to politicians, but we have inalienable rights that are protected and given to us by God, not by politicians. We need to preserve those inalienable rights. And I will take that oath, and when I take that oath, I am making a promise to you that I will watch out for each and every one of your inalienable rights. People came to this country, and they're still trying to come to this country, to be free and to prosper. A freedom endowed to us by our inalienable rights, by our Creator. A freedom that bestows in us our rights. This freedom can be wiped away by weak policies on crime. I was raised in Calumet City, Illinois. Anybody know where that is? Raise your hand. It's not a really nice place. And when I grew up, it wasn't even that nice. It was probably middle class to lower middle class families. I had a hardworking family that worked very, very, very hard for us. My family's here. They know my father, my mother worked very hard. I'm from an immigrant family just like Maureen, my cousin. And I know that we did our best, but we kept our community safe. My father is buried in that community in Calumet City, and I still go back there to pray at my father's grave. Then I walk down the street where I grew up, and I look across the street at the 7-Eleven. It's barricaded and boarded up, and it's got graffiti all over it. And I went to the Dairy Queen. It's not there anymore. It's boarded up, and it's got graffiti. I said, well, I'm going to go to the church, and I'm going to pray. And I went to my church, and it's padlocked. And I looked next to the church, and there was nothing there. My school was torn down. The school I went to grade school with is torn down. This cannot happen to your community. It cannot happen to our community. Keeping crime under control gives us our freedom. Thank you very much. God bless you.